Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Sid the Baker. Today I'm going to talk to you about beef pies.
What can I say? I'm a genius.
And particularly the beef pie filling. For this we're going to need the pie shells that we did in previous videos with the hand raised pies, follow the links. 1 pound of cheap minced beef. I want a fairly high fat content in this mince because fat makes flavour. Might not be too healthy, but in moderation it's fine. Chocolate biscuits are not healthy, you know, you just have 1 or 2 and it's good for you. Right, minced beef. We then want, I do a salt and white pepper mixture. I mix 3 parts of salt to 1 part of white pepper. Put it in a container, shake it up so you got it all mixed. We want half a teaspoon of that mix. We then want half a teaspoon of Chinese salt, MSG, monosodium glutamate. You get this from the Chinese supermarkets or off the internet. It's a meat enhancer. It brings the flavour out of the meat. The next thing we want is half a cup of dried breadcrumbs. If you have any stale bread, don't throw it away. Put it through your blender, make crumbs out of it, dry it out in your oven till it's nice and crunchy. Then put it in a polythene bag. You can use it for all sorts of things later on. Right, let's get mixing. Right, so here we are. I've got the mince in the bowl. I've put half a teaspoon of my mixed salt and pepper, half a teaspoon of my Chinese salt MSG. I've put the breadcrumbs in. Why have I used breadcrumbs? Breadcrumbs soak your flavour. It soaks the fat up out of the mince, soaks the moisture up out of the water that we're putting in and keeps all that flavour in. It also separates that mince. When you've got it in the oven, if you didn't have the breadcrumbs in with the mince, when you baked it in the oven, it will come out in a hard ball, that mince. But because you've got breadcrumbs, it keeps it nice and loose and moist. So we've got some water. I'm going to put some more water in. Now what we're going to do now is just stir that up. I can't give you an exact amount of water because it all depends how much breadcrumbs are in there, etc, etc. So just keep adding a bit at a time, and what you want to end up with is just a slightly sloppy mix. So I'm just stirring it in with my fingers. By the way, make sure your hands are clean for this, and all your surfaces are clean. You're handling raw meat, remember. And you must make sure everything's clean. Now I just want a bit of it. You see, it's nearly there, but not quite soft enough. I want it a little bit softer than that. There we go, that's better. Now, you can already see on my bowl that I've got a tiny layer of fat around the outside. That's normal, that's fine. That means your meat is just about the right consistency for fat in that sort of stuff. Right, so I've got that to a nice consistency now. Now we're going to fill these pies out. Make a bit of space. Now to fill it, just put some in your hand. So you roll it into a ball like that. Put it between your fingers and just break some off and throw it in the pie. You see? And you want it about 1/4 inch off the top of the pie. Put it in your hand, work it until you get a nice ball of meat, then just squeeze it from the top, you see, like that. And then drop it into the pie. Till either you run out of mince or you run out of pie shells. There, I've got 12 out of this, which means I've got 2 pie shells over from that mix that we did previously. But that's fine, just put the pie shells in the freezer that you don't use and they'll do for next time. Alright, so we've got the pies filled out, now we're going to put the lids on them. Now, some people use the same pastry for the lids as they do for the bottoms. I tend to use my short crust pastry mix. If you haven't seen the short crust pastry, check out the link, it's all there how to make short crust pastry. I just find it works better. We've done it for the last 50 years in the bakery, it works fine. So, bit of short crust pastry, divide your pastry up, remember, watch the other links on how to use short crust pastry properly. Follow the links. Right, roll some out. You don't want it thick, because you don't want it all pastry, you want to actually taste the pie. Right, so I've rolled it fairly thin. Now, find a cutter that's just slightly larger than your pie. and just put the pieces out. And I've got 13 here apparently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now remember, we don't run the pastry too much, we just put it together, put a little bit of fresh pastry on top, press it out and do the same process again. Never overwork your pastry. Put a bit of flour on top. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, right, get your lids. Now, split it into 2 halves like that. Now, what we tend to do in the bakery, we tend to just press them out like that with our fingers. Just press them out in one pile like that. If your pastry's been made right, it won't stick together. Now, we get a little container like that, and we just put a drop of water in it. Not too much. This is the easy way to lid pie. So it's just covered in the bottom of the container. Get your pie. Right. Get your first lid. Like that. Dip it in. There you go. It's all wet on the bottom now. And then you just, with your finger and thumb, press around the outside. See how that's nice and tightly lidded now? There's one. Press around, lid in the middle of the pie, pressing around the outside. Right, all these pies are lidded now, so I'm just going to put a little hole in each one to make sure that the lids don't blow off with the steam. Get yourself some egg, beat yourself an egg up in a cup or bowl or something, and then wash all around the outside and the top. Put it on a non-stick surface. You get to learn to do this fast as well in the bakery. Everything's got to be fast in the bakery. Time is money. Yeah, I'm just running my brush around the edge, getting all the egg over it, so it's got a nice golden brown. There you go, there's one tray full. We'll put that in the oven. Set the oven at 150 degrees on the fan oven. And I've got the tray about 1.5 inches from the bottom of the oven. I've explained in previous videos why this is. It's so that the heat from the bottom of the oven comes up through the tray and into the pie, cooking the bottom of the pie at the same time as the top heat from the oven cooks the top of the pie. That will bake nice and evenly. We'll leave that for around about half an hour. So we've been around about half an hour and I think these pies are probably ready. Yes, here they are, nice golden brown. Just take a look at those, they are gorgeous. Just lift them up and we'll put them on this slab and we'll leave them there for about 15 to 20 minutes to cool down, because when they cool down we're actually going to put the pie gravy in. Now that is another step that we've got to take. There we go. So we've got the pies out of the oven. I now want to talk to you about the pie gravy that we put in. In the old days, 30-40 years ago, we used to boil bones up. We used to get them from the butchers that was next door. We'd put them in a big pan, we'd boil the bones up, and that would make your stock for your gravy. Mad cow disease stopped all that, so now we have to buy proper gelatine. This is gelatin. This is powdered gelatine. You can get this off the auction sites, on the internet, anywhere. Powdered gelatine. I've seen gelatine strips as well, but I use the powdered stuff. I find it's more convenient, just easier. We want 1 tablespoon of powdered gelatine. Now that will do half a pint of gravy. So 1 tablespoon of gelatine. Mix it in a jug with a little bit of cold water. Right? Boil your kettle up. Make it up then to the half a pint on your jug. Right, give it a good stir with a whisk to make sure there's no lumps in it. And all you need to do then is add a stock cube. So you've got a stock cube, you've got your gelatine, and you've got your hot water. And that's it. So then we put it in the pie. So we've got the gravy made, so now we're going to put it in the pie. So get yourself a pointed knife. And all we're going to do, we're going to make a little hole in the side of each pie, just on the top, on the edge of the pie. And you just get your pointy knife, stick it in the edge and just pull it away a little bit. Just a tiny bit, it doesn't have to be a lot. And just do that in each of your pies. So you're just going down the edge of the pie, sticking your knife in and just making a little hole. Right, now you get your gravy. All you do, put your knife in your pie like a little funnel, and you just tip the gravy in the pie until you see the gravy come to the top. And there you go. Now I've got this on a little tray because invariably some of that gravy is going to spill out. And you don't want to spill it all over. So put it on a cooling tray on a little container underneath so it catches any spillage. So there we go, we're just pouring the gravy in the pie. And because that meat's cooked in the pie, it has shrunk a little bit and it'll be away from the edge of the pie. So all this gravy now is going down the outside of the pie. Now when it's gone cold, this gravy will set and it'll be just like a jelly. Alternatively, when you warm the pie up later on, that jelly will soak a little bit into your meat and give it a little bit more flavour again. There we go, nearly done, last two coming up. There's the last two. And we just got 4, 8, we've got 9 pies out of half a pint of gravy. There you go, we'll try cutting one open when they've gone stone cold. Thank you. This pie should have gone nice and cold now, let's see what it's like inside. Let's cut it through. There you go, the jelly's inside, it's not running out, it's just how it should be. Perfect. Lovely. Well, thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and if you wouldn't mind, please tell all your friends. Thank you very much.